Welcome back to another episode of Harmonious at Lunch, the show that fuels your business success. I'm Brandon Gano, your host and guide through the world of harmonious business growth. Today, we're unlocking powerful strategies with industry experts to help your business thrive. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or executive, you are in the right place. Join me and our incredible guests today on the journey to clarity, growth, and success. It is time to revolutionize your approach to business. Let's dive in with another episode of Harmonious at Lunch. Welcome back into some more bite-sized business advice. And today's episode is no bite-sized episode. This is the whole thing, right? We're going to talk about my personal favorite topic. I think it's my guest's favorite topic. If not, it's maybe top 3 for him. But either way, we're talking about strategic vision. What is it? How do you use it to grow your company? And how do you use it to make more profit and more impact? His words, not mine. But before we go any further, Richard Walsh, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Brandon. Excited to be here. It's going to be great.
So I was reading your bio behind the scenes, and you like to free business owners from the business prison. Is that the words you use? Tell me about this business prison we find ourselves in.
Yeah. So I wrote a best-selling book called Escape the Owner Prison. Right. And the subtitle is The Contractor's New Way to Scale, Regain Control, and Fast Track Growth While Loving Life. So we all know the business prison is you start a business, and there is one thing I have never figured out is how not to work really hard your first 2 years. Okay. So you're going to work really hard. But the problem is, next thing you know, Brandon, 10 years has gone by and you've repeated the first 2 years 5 times. And that's why you're stuck. You're making some money. You got things going, but if you don't show up and unlock the door, business doesn't happen. You're wearing still too many hats. You don't have things systemized. You're not really dialed in. So you are a prisoner. You serve the business that does not serve you. So what we want to do is how do we free that? And the goal is to get the owner, you the owner, to be focused only on your 5%. That's the 5% of the business only you can do. And that is vision. That's growth strategies, right? That's bringing in the big clients, that kind of stuff. That's what only you can do, right? We want to get to that point. Everything else is systemized, run by great people in great systems, and you regain your freedom, which every business owner thinks they have freedom because they get to choose the 80, 90 hours of work they work every week. But we really want to, like, if my wife calls and needs me to come home, I can come home, right? I can go to every game of my kids. I can see them do things. We homeschool our kids. I can pop home and, well, I do PE and art. I don't do a lot of teaching, but I do that part, right? So, but I can do that, right, whenever I want. That's real freedom to me. I call it the 5S. It's faith, family, finances, fitness, and friendships. That's the balance. When you hear work-life balance, those are the things they're talking about.
I love it. I love those 5 Fs. Those are all super important. I was laughing at you get to choose the 80 or 90 hours a week you work. So ironically enough, yesterday's episode of this podcast, we talked to VJ about specifically scaling startups. And one of the things we talked about was the 3 common paths that businesses take. 1, you go out of business. That's kind of obvious, right? 2 is hyperscale. In the startup world, they're VC funded. It's not always real hyperscaling because you have this influx of cash. And then you have that middle road, which is where most people take. It's slow growth. It's sometimes plateaus. That's what we're talking about today is like, it's just, we're still at the middle. You're working those 80, 90 hours a week that you choose. And there's a better path and there's a way to get past that. And I know myself and Richard both want you, if you're there, to get past that. So you mentioned the foundation, a vision. Where do we start with growing our businesses and scaling past where it's at right now?
Yeah. So the first thing we do, we call it strategic vision. Okay. So you've heard mission statements, right? Everybody's got it. They used to. I don't know if they do it much anymore, but everyone had the mission statement. We're going to be the best, blah, 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 serve our customers, all be satisfied. And they put it up on the wall and it literally turns into wallpaper. The only one that edifies is the owner. No one in the company gives a rip about that thing on the wall. They never look at it. They don't care, right? Because why does that drive them, right? So we do strategic vision. We want to be a vision-driven business. So a strategic vision becomes the cornerstone of the business, and it is what I call a future cast. So it's not what you're doing now, it's what you're going to be doing. It's what you want to achieve, right? And that's everybody in the company. So I call it an internal document. So it goes from that first call that comes in all the way, whether you're producing, serving, whatever you're doing for a business, all the way to the final and past the final outcome, right? What does that look like? How is every single person on the team the hero and they're part of the journey? How do you write that out and describe it? So this is a 6 to 10 page document, 15-page document. It's rolled out to the entire team. They have a highlighter. They find out where they fit. It's used for hiring. If I'm going to hire someone, they read that first. And the first question I ask, did you read the strategic vision? If they say no, you have a nice day. And I hang up the phone, okay? Because they already can't follow directions, right? But if they do, you say, where do you see yourself fitting? And they tell you, okay, they read it. Good, we get that. They go, I love doing this. I'm the warehouse manager guy. Dude, that's my wheelhouse. I love that. I want to, guys can grab onto that because of the way we detail it and what it's about and the purpose it serves, right? Now we start to fulfill that strategic vision as a company. We come back to it every couple of weeks. We talk about it in meetings. We make sure people are fulfilling their portion of the vision. If they're not, then they can be let go because you're not fulfilling the strategic vision. So there's a different focus. It's not you're incompetent. It's not this. It's you're not fulfilling the strategic vision. And a good example I'll give you, Brandon, was had a company that rolled hers out, and about maybe 6 months later, one of the practitioners, it was a doctor's, a medical office, stepped down because she felt she couldn't fulfill the strategic vision. Had all this personal stuff going on, and literally took a step down. And this is not from like a small position, but that's how much the vision meant to the entire team. A lot of power in that. And now people come to work for purpose, because money, that's third on the list. People don't do things for money as number one. A few people do. The middle is character, right? So you want that, the money's at the end, but what they really want is purpose. They want purpose. In the middle, they want quality feedback. They want recognition, right? They want to know they're doing things right. They want to be appreciated for it, that kind of stuff, right? So once again, and if they have the purpose for that, they can actually wake up in the morning, come to work and love it. And if they're doing those three things, and then what we do as a business in that vision, we show how we build them up as people and not just competent employees or team members. So now we enhance their lives via the business. They take that home to their families. Their families interact in the community. So you start to affect a lot of lives that way. But then that's how you change the culture in a business, because you'll hear company culture, blah, blah, and all this, like a mission statement. No one knows what it really is or how to do it. Some people just have it. But this actually creates that and gives people that drive to come to work, do it, be rewarded, be recognized, feel like they're really making a contribution, and that's where the impact comes. So that's it in a large nutshell.
Large nutshell. This is why it's my favorite topic. We've talked about all of those elements and geeked out about them on this podcast before, and I have this argument with clients all the time, and they'll come to me and say, I just can't retain good talent because we don't pay enough. And I'm like, BS. I can show you study after study that tells you people are purpose driven first, and money is, you said third. I'm sure we could argue for even lower on some lists, but people want purpose. And then secondly, like you said, they want direction. Like they're probably leaving because your business is a scattered mess and you have no idea what's going on, and they're figuring it out. And that's not what you hired them for. So I absolutely love this topic. I'm excited to unpack it a little bit further. So within each section or function, I don't know how you classify it, but what makes up a good vision for each role within the company? How do you structure that?
So you had the overall vision, right? Mm-hmm. So we understand why we do what we do, how we do it. We understand who we serve, what we serve, what we specifically do, and why we do it. Those are the first three things. We really understand who our ideal client is. Regardless of the size of the business, the ICP, ideal client profile, is ingrained in every person in the business. We know specifically who we serve. So that purpose part, as we're fulfilling our aspect of that process, again, product, service, whatever it is, we understand who we're serving to a very, very deep detail. Not just they make this and do this and live here. It's really a detailed thing that we lay out. And then from there, we take, the why, how we serve them, right? So you got the who, then you do the how we serve them. That's part of the vision, right? So each element, each job position, you have the how you do this. And those are where job functions fit. You have the title, the descriptions. You have a job description. That's a rosy little picture that you use to lure people in. It's lure on a fishing line. Okay. Then they come and find out what they really have to do. Right. And those are job functions. It could be 7 things, could be 17, could be 20. And one could be every Wednesday for 10 minutes or whatever. Right. So we don't show that in the job offering. Right. So anyway, so they understand exactly what they do. The next column is how they do that. So it's exactly how you perform these job functions. Then there's a third column that's the training for the how. So we actually build out how you train people when they come new to this position. And then inside the position, we build 4 different levels normally. And that's how they advance inside the position. So when they learn this, this, and this, and they create this competency, and let's say they get a CPR certification, they get this certificate, they go to the next level, they get paid more. Now they're a level 2, now they're a level 3. When they hit level 4, now they're eligible for promotion out of the position. And there's time and qualifications to each level, right? So there's a certain amount of time at the business and a certain level of qualifications. That's how you build it. So now they're coming with purpose, not just for the ultimate vision, the overall vision, but inside their job, they're improving. So now they're doing people and competency, right? Because we want 3 things in the business, Brian. We want character, we want calling, character, and competency. That's what we look for in our people. Okay, competency, third on the list. I can train people and make them better. We can give people more skills, right? Easiest thing to do. Character, I'm stuck with who I get, or I'm stuck with who I'm going to reject, because it's above my pay grade to fix their character at this age. If they were 8, we could do something, but these guys are coming as adults. I can't fix their character. So we look for the right character that's going to fit the culture. And calling is something really simple. They love to do it. Let's say I have a guy's working a machine, a CNC machine, maybe, right? He's produced something. Well, I ask him in an interview, like, well, what do you like to do for a hobby? Well, I actually like to restore old cars. Build old cars. I do this kind of stuff. And I go, oh, man likes to work with his hands because we have issues and we got to fix details. There's a guy who will like this because the job is related to a hobby, right? He's called to do that stuff. It's not something so foreign to him. He would never do it outside the business, right? So we're looking for people who customer service. Oh, I love people. I love talking to people. I love helping people. That's a person who's called for that position. They're not going to be in the warehouse. They're not going to be on the CNC machine. They're going to be at the front desk. They're going to be on the phone talking to people because they're called for that, right? So that all is part of this, how we build those positions and keep them driving for the vision and give them a full amount of purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm curious though, when you were mentioning like the 4 levels of advancement within a position, are you putting that in the strategic vision, or that's in more of the job role side?
That's in your job roles. That's in your functions. Okay. So I'm not going to write, here's all that, but they get that in writing when they're hired. This is the position where you start, right? Level 0, then you go up 4 levels, right? So no, I wouldn't put that in the vision, because in the vision, Brandon, it's part story form. So you're going to hear about how John got hired from a crappy sales job to the sales job here, and what it looks like when he does a sales job now. So if you're the sales guy coming on board, you're like, wow, that's really cool. I want to work here. You know, it talks what they make, how they do it, what a day's like. I walk them through that process. Even, and this is a key to future casting, even if that position isn't at that level yet, that's what we're working for, right? Maybe we're missing 1 or 2 of the elements in there, but we're working on creating that. That's what's important. You got to look forward. You can't be doing what you do today. That's not good for any business, right? We always want to innovate. We always want to move forward.
Yeah. Talk to me about the creation of the vision though, because I don't know if you said this before recording or after, how far out are you vision casting?
18 to 24 months.
Okay. So this is a lengthy document that's not going to be created in a 10-minute meeting. So what does that process to actually come up with this look like?
Well, I'll tell you, it's probably the hardest thing we do in our entire program. And guess what? You get to do it first.
Nice.
But here's the beauty. This is how I help. So I've had a lot of clients. We've written a lot of strategic visions, and I share them with a new client. So you can read these other people's. If you like it, copy and paste. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You're going to see stuff like, "Ooh, I want to do that. That's a great idea." And you just copy and paste, literally. I mean, I'll have permission. It's just, let's build this out. But I'll tell you, even for Sharpen the Spear, it took me an expert at writing strategic visions, 14 hours to write mine. Okay. But it is spectacular, Brandon. There's pictures, there's everything, right? The whole story, it's spectacular. I'm just telling you, it's enjoyable to read. You'll get through it all. That's part of the key to success, right? And remember, now we have AI, we can do little prompts and we can help them write if you want to. But really, it's seeing the examples of others and like, hey, use that. Oh, they get the form, right? Your story, you're now the features or facts, and you're back into the next thing and the next thing. And it makes it just a weaving story as the customer is journeying through this, right? So the customer's along inside this journey. So you're seeing it as the employee and what it looks like. Now, if you read that, you understand every level of the business. Because oftentimes people come in, they have one position and they don't know what's going on to the left or going on to the right, or that cubicle or whatever it is, right? So a thing we started encouraging our businesses is to take 2 hours a week and rotate people in each part of the business. So they physically go in and learn how to do things. They're in the sales. They're in the front office, right? They're in, this guy works a bander. This guy's on a CNC. This guy does shipping. They spend time in each one of those so they understand this whole big process of what goes on to get that out. Yes, they've read about it, but now they have the hands-on for that. It's a powerful tool if you do it with your company, because your people change their mindset, because everyone thinks whatever they think. Shipping, they don't do anything. We do all the hard work. That guy doesn't clean. Well, you go get on the broom. We'll show you how we do it. We'll show you what's expected. And then they understand that. And it really, again, develops that company culture.
Yeah, it's a cool way to really experience and get in someone else's shoes. I like that. I'm curious, though. So 14 hours, it's quite the investment, first of all. You have it done. It's beautiful. You love it. You share it with the team. For the next 18 to 24 months, before we have to create the next one, what are you doing to integrate that into everything the company does? And also, probably equally, if not more important, how are you measuring your progress towards that and making sure it's not just inspiring, but it's actually being executed on?
Right. So you've got everything we do in 30, 60, 90-day increments. That's as far out as we go in goal setting, anyone on the team. We don't do a year. We don't do 5 year, because that's all, in today especially, stuff changes overnight. So we do 30, 60, 90 days. We build this out to achieve this, right? So it's not say, hey, you need to achieve this. That's in the strategic vision, because you know what happens then. It never gets achieved. So we literally break it down. So here's who's going to do it. Okay, here's the time frame. Okay, in 30 days, you're going to do X. Here's the resources you're going to be able to use to accomplish that. Here, if you get hung up, you're going to talk to this person, right? To get unstuck, you're going to go to them. We have all that built in, right? So they have all the resources. They know where to go. Now they're going to go execute. But here's the caveat. I've got Jim working over here in the sales manager position. I got this great vision he's going to fulfill. I've given him a 90-day goal. Here's the resource. Here's this. Here's who to talk to. Do you think Jim should do that for his current salary only? So Jim is going to systemize your business, that portion. Jim is going to achieve the strategic vision for you. Should he only get paid what he's being paid? I'm going to say no. You're going to add a really awesome bonus at the end of that. Real and stuff. And it can be money. It can be whatever you want, right? But because what's the value of him or that section achieving that strategic vision goal, systemizing that entire thing, having those job functions in place, if they're not already there, or fine tuning, where now that sales manager can literally just run in Excel, knows exactly his lane, knows his boundaries, he knows what he can do, he knows all the expectations, he knows consequences, and he can just thrive. What's that worth to your business if every position was like that? That's how you get your freedom, because they don't need you. You empowered them, you rewarded them for it. So now they get additional buy-in too, right? They created this. They built this. They can tweak it. Now, when we start to achieve the strategic vision, well, we can do smaller. We're not going to write 14-hour new vision every 2 years. We're going to tweak it, add it how we make it better. And we'll add it to the story. And we'll change it. So now you don't have such a big deal. But people see it now as real time. And we continue to innovate and improve these positions. That's how I do it.
I love that model. And that's quite frankly why most mission statements, vision statements are ineffective and people don't care, is because they're not involved. It comes from some consultant somewhere or some higher up in however big the company is, or it comes from just the owner. I love involving the team and getting that buy-in, because then they're more inclined to participate. And back to purpose, right? They have the purpose because they're part of it. I love it. Richard, this is fantastic. Me and you could geek out on this for the next 6 hours, I promise, and we wouldn't get bored. At least I wouldn't. But the audience would, so we're not going to do that. But if they want more of you, where should they go?
sharpenthespiritcoaching.com. Simple. Remember, a confused mind does nothing, so we keep it simple.
I love it. That's awesome. I love to end these episodes, though, with a question. And what if we believe powerful questions get powerful answers? And in the context of what we're talking about strategic vision, really changing your entire culture and business model is at the essence of what we have here. What's a powerful question you want the listener to walk away with if they want to go down this path, or maybe if they want to stay on the path they're currently on? What do you want them to think about?
I want them to become something. I want them to become a systems thinker. And when you start seeing everything in systems, how can this be automated, delegated, eliminated, right? But how do we do that? How do I turn that in? Because that's where your freedom is going to come from. So think about, how do I get great people and have them stay because they have a great place to do something, right? So the big thing is, no A player is going to come to a hot mess. They're not going to come in, build your business or systemize your business. You're going to build that for them so they can get in their lane and run. So think about, how can I do that? How can I build that so they can thrive? I want my people to be the best that they can be. Long answer.
I love it. That's such a great point. And we're talking about getting out of the prison of business, the owner's prison. I love it. This is fantastic. Step one, sharpenthespiritcoaching.com. Wherever you're watching or listening, it's down below. Richard, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Can I make a quick offer?
Please do.
Go to sharpenthespiritcoaching.com, go to the contact section, send me a 1-sentence email that says, hey, I heard you on Harmonious at Lunch. Can I get your free ebook, your audiobook rather, not ebook, audiobook? So you get Escape the Owner Prison for free. I'll send it right out to you. Here's the best part. You get to listen to my voice for 2.5 more hours.
You had everybody sold until that last part, Richard. Come on. We got to work on your sales game. All right. But definitely do that. Thank you for that. That's fantastic. Take him up on that offer. Send the email. I'll put the instructions down below just in case. But thank you for watching, listening, wherever you are. We're having a lot of fun. I hope you're having a lot of fun, and go grow your business. That's why we put out these episodes every single day of the week. We'll see you tomorrow on the next episode of Harmonious at Lunch.